where Energy Minister Jeff Radebe has been addressing the issue of independent power producers and other renewable energy products. He's been speaking at the DLO Africa conference in Sandton. eNCA's Govan Whittles is there now. Let's cross to him live. Now, Govan, wherever the Energy Minister speaks of the last while, people pay attention because of the ongoing crisis around South Africa's electricity supply and indeed Eskom. What did the Energy Minister have to say? What is government doing about this red tape that we keep hearing is what is keeping our independent power producers back?
Well, most of his address, Marcel, was basically a commitment to the country's intention to forge ahead with the IPP project, renewable energy, adding that onto the grid. But he also spoke about how the coal, which is currently being used, and the energy system by Eskom is simply not enough to carry South Africa into 2030 and meet its energy demands. In this room here at the DLO Africa Power Conference, we have a number of renewable energy companies, also infrastructure companies that have been working with Eskom over the last couple of years, and they were certainly happy with what they heard from Energy Minister Jeff Radebe, particularly relating to the integrated resource plan. That's the plan which entails the energy mix, and it's currently before NEDLAC. In that regard, Minister Radebe is saying that once that IRP plan is finalized, he'll take it to cabinet, and he's hoping to do that as soon as possible. Of course, that would set out how South Africa would be using energy up to 2030 and what role renewable energy and coal would play in the future. But with regards to renewable energy, he says that there's room for greater private sector collaboration with South Africa's energy entities, but also saying that the private sector could perhaps get involved in restarting some of the older power stations at municipalities, saying that municipalities are currently facing revenue losses because people are saving energy or using less energy, and they need to find a way to make sure that municipalities start making more money from electricity. Overall, it was recommitment to the IPP project and the renewable energy project. It's something that the minister says will definitely be part of South Africa's future, despite the naysayers.
And like you said, this is not something new. We've heard the Energy Minister make these comments before, but South Africans want to know about practicalities and indeed time. Any hint by him given about the capacity of these renewable energy providers and the IPPs as to how quickly they can be brought online and what capacity they might have to help South Africa with its power needs?
Well, he was saying that in the next couple of months they should be brought online. Of course, many of these renewable energy companies, the development was delayed because the signing of the IPPs by the Department of Energy, Minister Jeff Radebe, and Eskom had been held up for a number of years. But now that he's signed the contracts and he's expecting the judgment in the High Court in Pretoria to go his way as well regarding the application by NUMSA for an interdict, then some of these should be able to start selling electricity to Eskom. But the main issue here is the cost, and that's the concern that we heard from the National Union of Mine Workers, whether or not these IPPs would be able to sell electricity to Eskom at under R1 a kilowatt. Of course, currently with coal, they're producing energy, some of the bad coal and the good coal, at around 50 cents to 80 cents a kilowatt. Now, the very first round of bids taken from IPPs put on the table a cost of over R2 per kilowatt. That has substantially decreased, Minister Radebe says, and it could be as low as below R1 per kilowatt. So he says that the price of renewable energy is getting cheaper and cheaper as technology is being developed, and he believes that this is what solidifies its position in South Africa's energy mix. In terms of it coming online, it's really up to the development of these IPPs, and a lot of these companies are in the room here today. Most of them are very happy with what they heard and will no doubt accelerate that development.
eNCA's Govan Whittles coming to us live from Sandton.